Good afternoon and welcome back to the POLITY, reaching you from Abuja. Like I said before the break, we will be delving into issues bordering on the state of the nation. I've been joined in the studio now by the moderator for Vila News, Comrade Musa Mamman, Kontagora. He joins me to do justice to the issues at hand today. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year. It's been a while, I believe.
Yes.
All right. You are, I believe, one of the authorities on any news when it comes to all things news from Aso Rock, the state's capital where the president works from. So just before we get into specific issues, are there any updates, anything that Nigerians should know about at this current time?
Well, today is Armed Forces Remembrance Day, and the president was in attendance to remember the fallen heroes. And there are prayers for the fallen heroes, for their souls to rest in peace. And also, a few days ago, the president approved 18.4 billion backlog for the deceased soldiers. You understand? So to tell you that even before this program of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the president have it in mind.
All right, fair enough. So let's delve into there are a lot of issues at hand, but the most recent one, just before you came into the studio, we're getting now the reports that inflation rate has risen to 28.92% in December. Food inflation is over 30%, about 33%, I believe, and with all of this, we're not really hearing anything from the CBN governor and others involved when it comes to handling Nigeria's inflation. I'd like to get your thoughts on that, how you think we can get out of this.
Well, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying its best to see that the common man have 3 square meal. You understand? He's trying his best to see that the common man live a life that you can call, if possible, a life that when you see a person, you know that, yes, at least is having a life that you really appreciate seeing the person. But these are things that cannot be done as fast as possible the way people want it. They take a lot of processes. After transition of government, there are a lot of changes. And you know the scandal that Nigerian face in time of the redesigning of the Naira. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to find a way of balancing the sector so that we will have a playground to bring in all the sectors that deals with the influential rate, and then we can have a balanced decision on that. So this is something that we need to be patient.
All right, but are there questions are being raised now about the performance of the CBN governor? The Monetary Policy Committee, which is meant to meet every 2 months, I believe, according to the law, it's been 5 months and we've not heard anything, and the inflation is rising. Some would even say this is almost something worth becoming state of the emergency. Is there perhaps a need for the president or anyone else to put the CBN governor on his toes? Because not having these meetings every 2 months as stipulated by the law is already you going outside of what is subscribed. Talkers of not doing it while we're experiencing record levels of inflation.
Well, this is New Year, and I believe this is just the second week of the month, right? So I believe it would be wise enough we give at least a benefit of doubt to see what are the CBN, the leadership of the CBN, the governing council of CBN, what are they bringing on decks by the end of the month.
All right, so let's delve into another issue that's making the rounds and dominating the conversation, issue of insecurity and the fight against insecurity. There are so many stories, some are even quite personal. In the office here, you'll be surprised as to the stories you hear. But let's not, get it too personal. Let's talk on the general note. I'm sure you're aware of that recently a family was attacked, a couple of families actually, and a number of young women were taken. And this led to crowdfunding and on the social media and so on. And then I believe the most recent update as regards raising that ransom, the former Minister for Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, said that one of his friends had pledged or had donated 50 million naira to complete the ransom fee. Now, he made that pronouncement before the ransom was actually given. And as I speak to you now, the current update is that the ransom has now been raised to, way more than the initial 60 million naira. So I'd like to get your thoughts on a number of issues here. First of all, the concept of paying ransom in the first place. Is it something that should be encouraged? Is it something that we should desist from? On the other hand, the security architecture in general, we have it that one of the uncles of this kidnapped persons actually went to get the police, and when they returned, he was killed alongside, I think, 2 policemen. And as we speak, even though there's been communication between the kidnappers and the family, the police or the security forces do not know their whereabouts. So what's your take on all of this? And like you said, it's a new year. How do you see these things starting to, how do you see us starting to get good news as to the fight against insecurity?
Well, first, before I say anything, the issue of insecurity, this is a problem that bothers everybody. Those in government, the citizen, you understand? The law enforcement agency, it bothers everybody. And to fight insecurity, all hands need to be on deck. This is not the business of the government alone. This is not the business of the security personnel. We, the citizens, you understand? We also need to support. We have to be vigilant. You understand? You have to be careful with the people you mingle, with the people you come across. You understand? Because some things happen coincidentally, but I believe before they kidnap anybody, they will have details of that person. You understand me? So this is a business of everybody. The government is trying its best. We, the citizens, we also need to try our best. We need to be vigilant. Because last week, the president sat with serving chiefs. You understand? And he gave them a mandate that each and every life of a Nigerian is important. And the president said it in a closed-door meeting. You understand me? In a general meeting with the security personnel. And again, he met with the governors of the Progressive Governors Forum, which he told them, we are going into governance now. We are no more into issue of political party. You understand? Being him the president of Nigeria, he is the president of everybody. So he applies that to the governors. They should try as much as possible to bring out ways in order to better the life of Nigerians. You understand? This strategy pains everybody. You understand? If it's not affecting you, it will affect your friend, a family member, you understand? Your neighbors. So the most important thing is we should be vigilant. We should pray to God to give us the method. Because these people, you can only fight somebody that you face. You understand me? You don't meet these people. You don't know them. It is hardly to fight somebody that you can see him. That are fighting under the dark.
We've always had such high regard for our armed forces and our security architecture. We've seen the police, the DSS, been able to track some persons just from social media or from phone calls, even people who've lost their phones in this very capital here, who've reported. Somehow they've had their phones recovered. So we just wonder, at this point, being that there's constant communication between the kidnappers and the people they want ransom for, shouldn't we expect more? And also, something very, noteworthy here. I don't think it's also time for the presidency to have reacted to this at this point. As we speak, the First Lady, talking about Mrs. Remi Tinubu, Senator Remi Tinubu, she has released a statement on this issue, commiserating with the victims and, expressing her what I call it, her condolences, while also trying to uplift them. And that's already on ground. And that's the First Lady. Her, constitutionally speaking, her office is not really even recognized, but she has released something. So people are wondering, why haven't we seen anything from the presidency or even the president's Twitter handle at the very least? Is there an issue there about, us getting response?
This issue I told you, this is what everybody need to be vigilant. The government is hands are on deck every day in order to fight insecurity. Whether they tweet it, whether they didn't tweet it, every day, you understand? Every week there's a security meeting that has been held in order to find a way to fight insecurity. You understand? You get? And also the Minister of Youth, Dr. Jamila Biuhas, also did the same thing with what the First Lady did. And I believe the law enforcement agency, the police, the DSS are trying their possible best.
What do you think about, speaking about the Minister of Youth, let's talk about the NYSC. There's a lot of calls left, right, and center about wondering about the necessity for that scheme at this point in time. Do you think it has outlived its purpose? Because a lot of people talk about the fact that students who've just graduated have to go across the country, and being the way things are in terms of security, perhaps it's not safe. And if you'd even notice, what's trending on social media now is a portion of the NYSC booklet, which basically says you should be friendly with your kidnapper, or you should you should have some certain amount of money set aside. And people are wondering, are you saying or planning that core members are going to get kidnapped? So I wonder, do you think it's too drastic to start considering ending this scheme, or should there be another alternative somewhere?
We can't end this scheme. A new method is coming up, not quite long.
Okay, what would that entail?
You wait and see the new method.
Okay.
You understand? Because the life of a COP member, everyone that passes through school of thought, you understand, that has been educated, that today held a position, definitely he must pass through NYSC. So the presidency is bothered. The Ministry of Youth is bothered a lot on the issue of the security of the COP members. So a new system is coming on board.
All right, maybe we'll still delve back into that, but still on the issue of insecurity, you've spoken about how it's an issue for all of us to consider.
Yes.
I'd like to get your thoughts, if you have any ideas or recommendations as regards how citizens can participate, because as it stands, when these things happen, there are all kinds of rhetoric. Some people say, why can't residents be allowed to bear arms? Why not? And the Chief of Army Staff vehemently stood against that it might lead to even further anarchy. And a lot of well-meaning Nigerians have also agreed that giving everyone access to arms could cause more problems. But that aside, how else do we see citizens being able to assist meaningfully, to safeguard their locales?
First, the government are doing their own, but the citizens also need to be vigilant. You understand?
What does it entail? Do you mean waking up at night, or
no,
what does it mean
no.
really?
Being vigilant, here in your station here, you know the number of staffs you are having. If you see a sign of a new person coming in, will you allow him to have a place of staying? You won't. That's what I mean by vigilant. And raise an alarm. If immediately you see any changes or any new face that you are not okay with, communicate to the police or the law enforcement agency. You get? We need to play our own part. All these kidnappers we are seeing, they have informers that give them information on the whereabouts of the victims. So we need to be vigilant. And we also need prayers. Because this government is really ready to put things in order. The government is really ready to see that Nigeria move to the greater height.
So our citizens need to do better. Don't you think the government also needs to step up its efforts?
The government have stepped up the effort. There are a lot of devices that will be bringing that are even in already in the country, in so many states. Like in the state where I came from, Niger State, the governor have buy a lot of devices. You understand? We are in a digital world. So we need all these modern methods of security in order to make sure that the citizens are being secured, and the government is doing that.
All right, that's fair enough. There's still
if the citizens are really want to, instead of buying arms or having access to arms, we have the local police.
What does that entail?
Every community should empower the local police.
But that's
the vigilante.
That's not constitution. Okay, you mean vigilante?
The vigilante, they are the community police. They should be empowered, because the community police are people that you mingle with them, you know them, they know you. You interact with them. So instead of taking arms, empower the community police. I think it should be better. But the government in its right senses will never support that, allowing citizens to take arm. You take arm and then your neighbor offend you, you have to take laws into your hands. So the government is on the right track of not allowing any citizen to hold arm. So instead of allow the citizen thinking of holding arm, try as much as possible to empower your community police. Empower them. These are people you know. These are people that are doing the selfless services. You need to empower them.
All right, fair enough. I'd like to get your thoughts on something. Recently, I can't very well recall what state exactly, but somewhere in the northern part of Nigeria, over, I think, hundreds of repentant thugs and, what's the word, repentant, basically people who were some level of criminals and so on, were trained and integrated into the police force. What do you make of that idea? Is it the best? Do you think we can truly get reformed criminals and they would come into the police force and not, use the legalization of the police to continue criminal activities?
No, that is the instance of community police we are talking of. You understand? Because this happens in states that, a lot of these states that it happened, like in my state, in where I came from, a lot of these bandits are people that you know their parents. You understand? You need to sit them down and tell them the danger in what they are doing. That is where government came in sitting with them, those that are ready to repent. You understand? Government will train them into so many skill acquisition. You understand me? But if somebody is not ready to repent, no, government will never sit with him for negotiation.
But isn't there an aspect of this where they might deceive?
There is nothing
just
like
to get away?
There is nothing. In issue of security, somebody has to be conscious of what he says. You understand? Because this is something of security. I believe no governor in his right senses will just take number of people that are kidnappers or are bandits. No, they select from every community. They volunteer into the community policing. And then at the end of the day, local government chairman, you understand, we bring the number of those people that are ready, willing to volunteer for the community policing. After the training, the state government will put them into payroll, and then they assist the police. Even going into the forests, the places that all these victims are, you need to use the community policing.
Yeah, this reminds me of while the issues were going on, a lot of people started heaping praises on some Southwest governor, particularly the late governor Akeredolu and the Oyo State governor, Governor Makinde, for ensuring the creation and continuation of the Amotekun Corps. Apparently, these forces are really, preventing a lot of crime. in that region. That being said, we have it now that President Tinubu has arrived Owerri and is commissioning a 10-kilometer airport drive. That's just a bit of update. So, Mr. Musa, let's take a quick report now on the reactions of some Nigerians to President Tinubu's announcement of cutting costs and reducing the amount of expenditure or persons that follow the entourage on various trips. So we'll take that report now. When we return, we'll get some comments from our guests. Stay with us.
On the 9th of January 2024, an announcement was made by the presidential spokesman, Ajuri Ngilali, that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, approved directives to slash the size of official delegations for foreign and domestic trips by up to 60%. It was stated that the new limits will affect travel of the president, vice president, first lady, and other top officials. For foreign trips, the president's delegation will be capped at 20 people, down from the previous 50, while the first lady's entourage abroad is restricted to 5 members. The vice president's foreign delegation will be limited to 5, same for his wife. This, they say, is aimed to cut down on wasteful spending and reflect the prudence expected of all Nigerians, noting that the restrictions apply to all government ministers, departments, and agencies. In light of this, some Nigerians have applauded the president for this decision.
This action taken by the government is a positive idea. I think it will have a positive impact on the economy of the country. Because if you look at how things were going, the past government have not done such thing before. But I think with this new development, it's a new improvement to the government. It will make the government to have more reserve of the economy or of the resources that are supposed to be used to work for the masses instead of spending the money unnecessarily on traveling. So I think this is a good step taken by the government.
I appreciate Mr. President for this decision. And again, you should look into his cabinet. There's a lot of injustice going on in his cabinet. So I think it's a good example. So we hope that something good will come out of it.
Others appealed to the president to ensure swift implementation.
It's not enough, but it's a good place to start. We must start somewhere. Yes, it's commendable. They can channel it to other things like infrastructure majorly, things that can drive the economy. Yes.
But if you're having the country at heart, then the country's focus or the country's need should be in your heart to actually change the situation of the country or betterment of the people. Then you have to do it the right way.
With this new development, Nigerians expect President Tinubu to channel the money towards the development of Nigeria.
Welcome back. All right, I'm still in the studio now with Mr. Musa Mamman Kontagora. He's the moderator at Vila News. So this leads me to the next issue at hand, President Tinubu's anti-corruption agenda and what we've been seeing his various moves. But before that, a quick comment on cutting down the cost as Mr. Ngilali announced there. Are these things that we expect to be far-reaching that will go past just the presidency perhaps?
Well, in fighting corruption or in fighting the cost of living, the president needs to start it from the high ranking, from himself. You understand? Why this whole cutoff took place is because there's a high cost of living, and you find the situation Nigerians are into. He's a president that sympathizes with the citizens. So he has, if it is for him and for every cabinet member, we like to take the whole of their team to a lot of trips. But this is an order from the president. And the order is not only from him, he has started the order from himself. Yesterday, the VP took off to Switzerland to attend the International Economic Summit, which he took only 5 persons. I think 5 or 10 with him. You understand? So it has been taken into action. Nigerians should know that President Tinubu is a leader that takes things into action, not only implementing. You know, there are differences of implementing and giving time before it will take into action. So President Tinubu is a leader that implements immediately after giving action. He implements it immediately. He's a leader that is really up to date to see the development of this country moves greater every day.
Fair enough. We do hope it will go further than we're saying. Some also expected it to show up in the budget, especially with a lot of redundancies in some aspects. But that aside, let's talk about President Tinubu's what it seems to now be looking like is direct or targeted fight against corruption. The news started with the NSIPA and talks of billions of naira being moved. It went into the minister herself, sending over close to 500,000 or more into personal accounts. It went to some expenses where an airport was magically created in Kogi State, and so on and so forth. So many things have been happening to the point now that even the entire ministry is under serious scrutiny. Directors are being called now to the EFCC. The entire ministry is being investigated wholesale. I'd like to get your thoughts on that and how you think this will all proceed.
Well, the president have done his part by giving the EFCC, the ICPC, the right to do their thorough investigation, and they are on it. But what I would tell Nigerians is, if there's any vital information from the EFCC, they have their public relations officer that will give us the exact information that Nigeria needed. If it is from the presidency, Chief Ajuri is there to give us the exact information. So Nigerians should deny all the news coming out. That's to my own understanding.
How exactly do you mean? What sort of news are you referring to?
A lot of the news coming out on the issue of airport, you said, and a lot of things. The minister is on investigation, and also the directors. So we wait to see the outcome of the investigation. The president have formed a panel in order to go deep to investigate. If you see this panel, we have the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Budget and Planning. You understand? The Minister of Youth, State Youth is also there to tell you that the president want to make a change. The president can just appoint another minister. You understand? Or the suspended minister can come back. But no, the president want to make sure that there are changes that the common Nigeria will benefit from the NSIP.
So you still believe everything under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs should continue, because there are also calls or people making suggestions that it should be scrapped as well.
It will come to order. If it is to scrap, the president sees that is the best for Nigerians, for the development of this country. The president will do the best. You all know the president have special advisor on policy coordination. You understand? And every day, the president, she's feeding the president with the right information that is needed. So we wait and see the outcome of the report. The president have given 6 weeks. And I think 6 weeks is enough for the EFCC to finish their investigation, for the members of the panel to also bring the new development, the changes. That's the essence of that panel. He has suspended school feeding and other programs, conditional cash transfer and power, because those are where a lot of scandals are being made. You understand? So this is the business of every Nigeria. That is why the president has taken time to see that there is a lot of investigation. Where is the problem found? There need to be adjustment. You understand? So Nigerians should be patient enough. The activities of NSIP will come back to its full ground more than even before, after the investigation.
All right. Can we talk about the fact that any of this even existed in the first place? To an extent, there have been some admission here and there. So the question is, how much of this do you think is in the system right now? how do you think the president can best tackle it? Take, for instance, one of the ministers who has been receiving a lot of praise and attention is the Minister of Interior. And now somehow his name has been brought into this, and people are saying, well, if you are a minister here, why should a company that you owned, even though, or you're a shareholder in, be getting, you know, what's it called, contracts from another ministry, and so on and so forth. So people are trying to create this kind of idea that perhaps it is not only Madam Betta Edu or whoever who might be guilty or not, and that there are others involved. So should the president be doing a whole scale investigation into everyone, or is this setting the stage already?
Remember, I told you the president has mandated the EFCC to do all investigation needed, and nobody is exceptional. Nobody is exceptional. You understand me? And this is where we came in. I came in as the moderator of Vila News. We have special advisor to the president on media and publicity. We have special assistant to the president on print media, on social media. You understand? On media and strategy, new media. So we are there to bring out the real fact, because there are a lot of fake news roaming about. And if at the end of the day, the Minister of Interior is found wanted, I'm telling you, President Tinubu is a man of his words. You understand? He has to face the consequence of it. So we should be patient enough. And I think the president, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this is one of the fastest administration that has media at hand. Presently, the president is in Owerri. You understand? We don't wait until when he leaves before there should be press release on the activities. Immediately an event is taking place, immediately it is being circulated to the general public. We are for the betterment of Nigerians. We don't bring fake news to the general public, and we expect the general public also to disease themselves from fake news. You understand? So if any minister is found guilty in this, the president is going to do the needful. He's going to do the right thing. So we should be patient enough. You understand?
Well, it's something I guess Nigerians have to contend with, because the presidency has asked for patience a lot, and they are waiting for that time.
Is not
all
the
of
president?
This,
no,
because the president himself said that we might go through some hard times in various
of course
examples. So,
of course, this transition of government, and also
it's a new
if
government.
you really want to make changes,
almost a year.
If you really want to make changes, it has to take time to investigate things.
But this is a
let me give an instance. Let me give an instance. This is not APC to APC.
What I'm saying is there shouldn't be as much bottlenecks.
Can I give an
instance? Within the same party.
In your studio today, I walking out, mistakenly a laptop got missing. You understand? I will be in question if you are going to do justice, but you never be sure that I am the person that took the laptop. The laptop might be taken from maybe one of your colleagues, but because I am the person that left at that spot, I might be a victim. So you can't just rush and say, I took the laptop. You have to go into thorough investigation. If at the end of the day, it finds out that I took the laptop, the time that I left, nobody left, then I take it. You understand? But you can't just come and then make conclusions. Especially this is the ministry that deals with humanitarian affairs. So both
the most recent minister and the one before are both under EFCC investigation.
That's why the president want to make those panels need to go and make inquiry on the ministry in general, not only NSIP, not only a certain activity of the NSIP. All the activities need to be investigated. You understand? Because we need change. We need transparency and accountability. So if we need that, we really need to give time. Is the time that they give it, the president can even take 2 months. You understand me? But he gives only 6 weeks. So to tell you that they are on action, these are vibrant ministers, and they are ministers that the three of them are into economic of the country. One is budget and planning, the other one is finance. You understand? So we should be patient enough.
All right, fair enough. Again, when I say that Nigerians are, still waiting, because it's a thing. We've heard it a lot, but let's really do hope that it turns out the way your expectations and the expectations of the good people of the country. Now, that being said, still on this fight against corruption, I'm sure you're aware, over the weekend, last week and the weekend, we saw the Supreme Court delivering justice on various state election contentions. And interestingly, a lot of the persons who came out victorious have been praising the president for not interfering. What do you make of that situation? Praising the head of the executive arm of the government over something that happened in the judicial arm.
Well, I am a member of APC, and I will love my party. I will stood firm to my party. But when it comes to the time of the general public, you need to be sincere, you need to be transparent. The president was transparent enough to leave the judiciary to do the judgment. You understand?
Was there any other alternative?
The judiciary has done their part.
No, I mean, when the president is praised for not interfering, I'm wondering, was there an alternative? Did he have the option to interfere?
If he wished to.
But that's not legal.
No,
he doesn't have any such power.
That is to tell you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man of his words. Nigeria is going to get better.
But he has no power to interfere in the judiciary.
And he can interfere and nothing will happen. You get it? No.
Is that message right?
No, he can interfere. Is it not the judiciary to tell you that this is what they did? Is it the president that say it? It is the judiciary.
But he cannot. He actually does not have that power.
That is to tell you that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man of his words. He didn't interfere into the judgment. My party lose the judgment. It is painful.
But in Plateau states, pretty much the entire House of Assembly, the House of Reps, majority of them, they all lost their seats for the same reasoning that has been overturned in the Supreme Court, and they don't. Their papers was their final.
I am not a judge,
and they all lost their seats.
I am not a judge. So to tell you, the president did the right thing. The judiciary should handle the judgment, and they have handled it.
Yeah, but the point here is there seems to be an implication that the president is the type of person who would or could exercise some illegal right to interfere in judicial matters.
No.
Okay.
The good comments that are coming out from the general public, that's to tell you that they never expected the president to leave the judiciary to handle it on their own.
Why?
You understand? Because it can be done and there is nothing that will happen. You get me?
But that's not right.
No. You use the comment of the general public to justify this. That's to tell you that the president is going to transform this country to the greater height. A lot of things are being done with the judiciary. You understand? But now the judiciary are left alone to do judgment, to do justice to it. Remember, one of the state minister of defense, you understand, could have been the winner of that judgment that was done.
But is this anything to praise the president over? That's
it is. It is in the sense.
In a way, you could say, saying, okay, well, you have, let's assume a well-built man, a very muscular man, and he should be praised because he didn't kill anybody. No, he's not supposed to kill anybody.
We need to be careful on what we say. Okay. This is governance.
Okay.
Not the time of campaign. Not the time of coming to power. We are in governance now. It is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu do or does to Nigerians that will make them to support his party, that will make them to vote for him for the second time. So the way he governs, the method of governance he uses That is what we buy the heart of Nigerians, not the party. We are not talking of the party here. Because if to talk of the party, I am a party man. I'm a party member of APC. I'm a member of APC. You understand? But the judiciary choose to what? Do the judgment and do justice to the judgment in the way they choose to.
So,
and we, the party, the governing party has accepted defeat. Even on that, on the day of the judgment, after the judgment, the national chairman of APC accepted it and congratulated those that won. That's to tell you we are in the method of system of governing that we are making a headway, that when it is time to campaign, I believe we have no doubt.
But there's a rhetoric here. Do you think there should also be, I know you've said that the president has given go-ahead to the EFCC. Do you think they should involve the judiciary? Because if people like Plateau State Governor and other governors who won are saying the president did not interfere and that's a good thing, isn't the implication there that it's possible to do it? Therefore, within the judiciary, there is some level of
in any the corruption agency goes hand in hand with the judiciary. They have to go hand in hand.
So can they also investigate them?
The judiciary,
yeah.
They have to be investigated. Nobody is above investigation. If a minister can be suspended to go for investigation, then who is? You understand? Anybody can go on for an investigation. You understand? As far as you are found wanting, I am trying to tell you that the governing or the governance that it is being practiced, that will be practiced in this administration, is sincerity, accountability, and transparency. It might not favor our party. It might not favor my party. But when we do good, we give us the determination of having a second time in office. You understand? You get? So, I think there is nothing much to say than this.
All right. So, the judgments, you know, it puts an end.
And believe in judgment, there will be a loser, there will be a winner. That's how judgment is. The two cannot win. The two cannot lose. You understand? And also, it is the will of the Almighty for that to happen. That's for those that believe in the Almighty.
That's a good disclaimer to add to it in case. Well, now it has happened, like you said. I believe each government will go ahead now with whatever they can. That being said, I think finally we've put to rest all the issues. I don't think there are any outstanding issues, although we have by-elections coming, so that could spur another, another round of judicial contentions, but that's beside the point for now. That being said, moving forward, what's the amount of power you believe these governors have, and how should they be exercising it? Taking it back to some levels of insecurity that we've been seeing. Some persons have been saying perhaps there should be more attention given to governors and what they can do, and not always simply the presidency. Although the president himself in the past did make mention that the bulk stops at the desk of the president. That was when he was in opposition. He made that statement. When issues of insecurity would arise, the president would say that the president at the time is the one who has to answer for it. So I doubt his mindset would have changed now that he's president. But that being said, is there something that we should be expecting more from governors in terms of security?
Well, the governors are given all right to fight insecurity in their various states, because every state has the way insecurity borders them. The way insecurity borders Niger is different from the way it borders Kebbi, Zamfara, Enugu state. You understand? You get? And he met with the Progressive Governors Forum. In general, the betterment of Nigerians. He didn't say the betterment of APC. He didn't say the betterment of what? APC state. It is for the betterment of Nigeria in general. You understand me? So, a lot of states, 2 to 3 states now have implemented the improvement of community policing to fight insecurity. You understand? And a lot of also engaging the law enforcement agencies, the Air Force, the Army. You understand, in order to what? To give more support for the fight against insecurity is being given. If I will make reference, I used to make reference with my state. My state governor is one of the rated best governor presently, Governor Omar Bago.
Who rated him?
He has to be rated.
Okay, by your rating?
Not me.
Okay.
A lot of media houses rated him. A lot of analysts rated him on the way of the development that we are getting in Niger State. You understand? I can rate him.
In terms of security?
I can rate him. I can give fact of rating him. And when you go by that fact, you see the fact is okay. You buy my idea and also rate him the same. You understand? Definitely someone has to start rating somebody of his good deeds. And also they will rate somebody of bad deeds also. It's just the example of the judgment deed. There is the good deed and also there is the bad deeds. You understand? It's also applicable to what when you are being honored with the title of good deeds or being titled with the title of one of the best. Your activities, we rate you to be among the best.
All right. We're having some off-cycle elections coming in, and I believe you've tried to make a case here that the presidency or the ruling party will allow things play out on equal playing field. So I'd just like to get your thoughts. Edo State, I believe, is the next, and we have the APC seeking to reclaim the state, as they say, and we have, I believe, Izeyamu, who was the candidate in the last election, and the current senator, former Edo State Governor Oshomole, trying to meet and perhaps lead some sort of coalition. I'd just like to get your thoughts as regards that. We're ending with politics now.
Well,
what's your take on it?
Well, to that, my party, and I work for my party to become victoriously. You understand? Because they are stage of going to campaigns. You understand? For those that are able to convince the people of Edo State, the candidates, definitely will emerge victoriously without the involvement of, you can't force people to vote who they don't want to vote. But
Edo State was won by Labour Party in the presidential elections. What do you make of that? I don't
even have the record of it to know whether they win or not. But I'm trying to tell you now, every political party is trying to what? To convince the general public in order to win. My party is also will do all it can to convince the general public. Let us not bring in whether the president will support or he will not support. No, this is a playing ground. Go win the heart of the people before the election. On the election day, the person that won, fine. It is when the person that won, the person that lose, didn't agree with the winner, they go to court. So, and at the end of the day, they bring fact how they used to give this judgment that have just passed and the judgment that will come tomorrow and other days. That is how it will be.
You know, the APC has quite a reputation for its behavior as opposition. In the Edo State election, you are going into it as opposition.
What reputation? What reputation? I'm a card-carrying member of the party. I participated in the activity of the party. I'm also the chairperson, APC North Central Youth Stakeholders Forum. So what are you saying?
Reputation can be good or bad.
No.
I didn't specify.
Those are propagandas that they are trying to...
It could have been good.
Those are propagandas that are trying to spoil the party. I'm trying to tell you, APC as a party, we are united, we are one. We take defeat and we celebrate victory. You understand me? So people bring in another instance to cover up, to bring a name for APC.
The reputation could have been that you're a very vibrant opposition. You know, because it's interesting, funny enough, I'll make this observation publicly. I had a number of guests here, and it's interesting enough, since President Tinubu won the election, quite a number of my guests here who are not from the APC, they don't speak that much differently from what you've said today. So you see them saying the president is doing well. But people have you know, complained that it almost looks like there's no more opposition.
You know,
because when the APC is in opposition, an APC person is not going to come here and just tell me the PDP is doing well. They are doing their best. They're going to even when they know the APC, the PDP is doing well, they will point out the errors that they can do better. There's this worry that there is an eroding of opposition, that we no longer have opposition. We just have everybody
who
agrees with the president.
We have oppositions. PDP governors have won their cases. 2 PDP governors, that's Plateau and Zamfara. NNPP have won. We have oppositions. We have a lot of oppositions at the national. They have to thank him because he did transparency in time of the judgment. That's if he does wrong. Believe you me, online there will be a lot of comments, bad comments, and all things said. When he did good also.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Musa, Mamman, Kontagora. We've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing your thoughts. Hopefully, if there are more updates from the Aso Rock, we hope to get more of that from you and your colleagues. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we take on the program for today. Don't forget, the POLITY reaches you live from Abuja every weekday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Do join us tomorrow once again, where we delve into that intersection of politics, governance, and the state of the nation. Have a nice day. I am Amadin, Ogbewe.